We begin this midday with breaking news. One suspect is in custody in connection to the mass shooting that killed 2 people at a Juneteenth celebration in Round Rock last weekend. Now, just moments ago, few minutes ago, police held a news conference to give us an update on this case. KVUE's Eric Pointer is live in Round Rock. So, Eric, tell us more about what police said in this presser.
Police say that they have made an arrest in connection to this incident. They said they have been working tirelessly to hold people accountable, and they say that this senseless tragedy was a result of 2 different groups fighting together, and 1 person from those groups have been taken into custody. We have a booking photo for 17-year-old Ricky Thompson III. He's from Manor, Texas. We know that he was picked up at around 7:30 this morning by the Lone Star Fugitive Task Force in Pflugerville, and he was immediately taken to the Williamson County Jail. Now he is being charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, so not being charged with murder yet, but that could be upgraded. He was the subject that was in that white hoodie that they gave a description of on Sunday. Now they say that they're going to have a lot of work to do. The police are still collecting evidence and they are talking to witnesses. This is what the police chief had to say about the work they still need to do.
We have a lot of work to do. We know Ricky Thompson was not the only shooter at this event. We are still looking for other suspects. We are still continuing to gather all evidence, continue to talk to witnesses, and we'll continue to do everything that we can to bring everybody involved to justice.
Now we know that there are, again, more charges pending for Ricky and for anyone else who may be taken into custody. Police say that they will not stop until they get justice for those victims. Now we also know that they did call that press conference last night at 11 p.m. They said that they wanted to have something to present to people on actual Juneteenth because this happened at a Juneteenth celebration. So on Juneteenth they wanted to have something. They just didn't have anything. They had been working with the Williamson County District Attorney's Office, and they ultimately decided that they didn't want to compromise anything, so they wanted to wait until this morning until they had more concrete evidence and more concrete things to say. And so again, Ricky was arrested at around 7:30 this morning, and that's when they decided to have that update for us this morning. Yvonne?
Eric, a couple of questions. First, Ricky Thompson, no criminal history or anything like that?
Police say that he did not have any criminal history, and they're still investigating to see kind of what his involvement was with the group and everything, but no criminal history.
And also, Eric, I know Chief Banks says, you know, we work for the family, we work for this community. So he was saying it's very important that people continue to come forward with tips, helpful, useful information. So far, those tips have proven to be beneficial, correct, for authorities?
Yes, he did say that. He did say that they have been helpful to get those tips. They've gotten a lot of helpful tips and video, and they're still urging anyone who has any information or any pictures or video to come forward because, like we said, that has been helpful to them in this investigation.
Yes, and regardless of the payout, come forward and do what you need to do for the community and to make sure that justice is served. Thank you so much, Eric. Well, this morning, Lindsay Vicknair's family released a statement. She was one of the 2 women killed in the shooting at that celebration in Round Rock on Saturday. And in the statement, the Vicknair family thanked the Round Rock Police Department and other law enforcement for their due diligence, adding that they've been really supportive during this difficult time. Now, again, the statement did address the delay in yesterday's press conference, reading in part, "We have been inundated with calls and texts. There has been a lot of speculation and rumors circulating in our community. We remain patient and hopeful. The delay means we are closer to justice for Lindsay, Mrs. Duke, and the other individuals impacted by this horrific mass shooting." And you know, a vigil for Lindsay Vicknair is now scheduled for tonight. The vigil was originally supposed to happen last night, but was postponed. It is now scheduled for 7:30 p.m. at Webb Middle School in North Austin. And therapists are helping people process the shooting at the Juneteenth celebration. Life Anew is a nonprofit organization that reaches out to people affected by gun violence. After Saturday's shooting, they decided they needed to do something bigger. Yesterday, they contracted several counselors in the area to talk to those affected by the trauma.
So we hope to be able to increase the willingness of people of color to see getting help isn't a sign of weakness, but it absolutely is a sign of strength.
Life Anew is offering a weekly therapy group for free every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. at the Harvest Trauma Recovery Center in Austin. And if you need any other mental health resources, the center has many other therapists on staff daily. And in 2 weeks, the Round Rock community will be celebrating the 4th of July at the very same park. Thousands of people will watch the parade and then head to Old Settlers for their Frontier Days festival. And so far, there have been no change of plans. There's been no mention from the city on changing security standards for the event. Like the Juneteenth celebration, first responders will be on standby.
No matter how much security you have at an event, evil can find its way in an event.
On the city website, organizers say the celebration will be bigger and better than ever. Well, this morning, Tropical Storm Alberto made landfall in Mexico. The storm slammed the southwestern Gulf Coast with heavy rainfall and flooding. Now, the first named storm of the hurricane season, bringing nearly 10 inches of rain, some gusty winds, and isolated tornado threats to parts of Texas. Storm surge topping 4 feet south of Galveston Island. So let's take a live look here in Austin. We got some rain, but fortunately, flooding was not an issue. KVUE meteorologist Jordan Derensberg joins us now with a look ahead. Good morning.
Good morning, Yvonne. Good morning to everyone across Central Texas. Now, I do want to let you know that it is a bit disappointing for our drought situation that we didn't get as much rain as initially forecast. However, we are still seeing a few scattered showers throughout portions of Central Texas, mainly in some of our southern counties south of the Austin metro. Now, I do want to mention that Tropical Storm Alberto has now been downgraded to a tropical depression. And look at that. It is bringing quite a bit of rain to places like Guadalajara, as well as Querétaro and San Luis Potosi, areas just to the north of Mexico City across that Sierra Madre Occidental. It's got sustained winds at around 35 miles an hour. But again, heavy rain, flooding, and mudslides all possible in central Mexico this afternoon, as this storm is barely going to move anywhere before it reaches the Guadalajara area by the time we get to later on tonight. Now, the thing is, a lot of that heavy rain could still try to make its way up to us here locally, but it would be mainly of the scattered and widely isolated varieties. I have a 40% chance of storms here, and there could be another tropical system in the Bay of Campeche that could give us some more storms as we head into early next week. I'll talk more about that possibility coming up in just a little bit.
All right, sounds like a plan. Thanks so much, Jordan. Well, several major decisions expected from the U.S. Supreme Court as early as today in key cases involving Donald Trump, January 6th, and abortion rights. The Supreme Court ruled on 4 cases today, leaving 17 decisions to announce with just over a week before they're scheduled to recess. ABC's Christiane Cordero has the latest.
This morning, the Supreme Court released 4 decisions, the biggest of which upholds a Trump-era tax provision on offshore earnings in a 7-2 decision. Still undecided are 2 cases related to the former president. One asks whether he or any former president has immunity from prosecution for official acts while in office. The case stems from Trump's sweeping claim of absolute immunity from any criminal prosecution for his efforts to overturn the 2020 election, including the January 6th attack on the Capitol. Trump claims presidents cannot be prosecuted for official actions they took in office. The other Trump-related case asks if hundreds of people who stormed the Capitol on January 6th were improperly charged with obstruction because the law prosecutors used was written for business and financial crimes. Also still in front of the Supreme Court is abortion access protected when a woman's health is at risk. That major abortion decision out of Idaho pitting the state's ban on abortions unless necessary to prevent death against the federal law guaranteeing that patients be given emergency care, even in those rare tragic instances where that emergency care includes the termination of a pregnancy. It is the biggest abortion case since the court overturned Roe v. Wade. The ruling could impact abortion bans across the country. Christiane Cordero, ABC News at the Supreme Court.
A rapper and Houston native Travis Scott arrested overnight in Florida. What we know so far about the arrest. And Elon Musk's Boring Company fined by state environmental regulators for how it operates in Bastrop County. Why some residents are calling it a win in their push for accountability. Welcome back to Midday. A tunnel construction company in Bastrop County is getting its first fine from the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. KVUE has been following the complaints against Elon Musk's Boring Company. New documents show the TCEQ issued its first fine to the company. It's almost $12,000, and the violations are mainly surrounding their construction activity. That includes having ineffective erosion controls to minimize discharge of pollutants and dumping industrial stormwater without a permit. Documents show those violations have been resolved. Bastrop County residents, including local resident Chap Ambrose, have been filing complaints against the Boring Company for years. Ambrose says while this fine is a drop in the bucket for Elon's company, it sends a message: don't pollute Bastrop's drinking water.
It does affect their compliance history and their reputation with the state, and could impact future permits. We don't have to bash the environment to see all this growth and these new jobs and this new investment. Those aren't mutually exclusive. So I think just by engaging in these processes, we can see improvement. We can stop pollution.
Ambrose says with the Bastrop community paying attention and staying involved, they're continued to help protect, the environment. And after residents spoke up, the Boring Company dropped its request to dump 140,000 gallons of treated wastewater into the Colorado River daily. And instead, they signed a deal to operate through Bastrop's new wastewater treatment plant. That plant is being built now, and it's expected to be complete in 2026. Overnight, rapper Travis Scott was arrested in Miami. According to jail records, Scott was arrested for trespassing after a warning and disorderly intoxication. He submitted bond and is expected to be released from jail this morning. Pools and lakes will be busy this summer. The Verified team looks at which life jackets are best for your kids. You're watching Midday.
KVUE Traffic is sponsored by DJC Law. Injured in an accident? Call DJC Law at 512-888-9999.
Texas residents get this low mileage lease on this 2024 Cadillac XT4 for around $489 per month. Visit Covert Cadillac today.
Star Furniture's July 4th sale is on now. With incredible savings on the style you want, the brands you love, plus custom order options for a look that's all your own. Different by design. Star Furniture, different by design.
Austin's famous citywide vintage sale is Saturday and Sunday at Palmer Event Center. Shop for mid-century modern, vintage clothing and jewelry, art, linens, vinyl, and everything collectible. It's your vintage shopping paradise all under one roof. Visit citywidevintagesale.com for your $1 off coupon.
The excellence of driving a Buick is matched by the excellence of the dealership experience when you own a Buick. Buick, exceptional by design.
Sign and Drive is here. Get this ultra-low mileage lease on this 2024 Encore GX Preferred for around $343 per month with zero due at signing.
Spokesperson for Lorenz & Lorenz.
I got her in a car accident. Give me one good reason why she's called Ted Lorenz.
How about 3 great reasons? 1, we make it easy. 2, there's no upfront cost. 3, the results. I'm on top of it.
This is the most exciting moment in painting, when the frond tape comes off. When all the swatches, samples, prep, and pride depend upon Frond Tape's best-in-class paint block technology to keep paint out and keep lines sharp. From long stretches of baseboards to complicated corners around windows to crown molding that will have you asking, what room should we paint next? Frog Tape, when it matters most.
Chevy Truck's advanced camera technology lets you see over, under, through, Up to 8 available cameras and 14 views, so you can focus on the view that really matters. Don't miss a thing. Chevy's got you. Well-qualified buyers can get 1.9% financing for 36 months on the Silverado, or get $5,750 total cash allowance. That's 10% below MSRP.
Mornings can be hectic, so let Daybreak prep you for the day. Your daily forecast, traffic alerts, the news you need before heading out the door. Find it on KVUE.
Well, today marks the first official day of summer, and it's hot. Yeah, it's around 82 right now, but temperatures are going to be increasing for sure. We know little ones will be hanging by the pool or the lake to cool off. The CDC recommends using a life jacket to prevent a child from drowning, but not all jackets meet federal safety standards. Cheryl Mercedes has more on how to choose the right life jacket.
The CDC recommends children wear U.S. Coast Guard approved life jackets to prevent drowning. Approved jackets will come with a USCG approval number stamped on them, but according to the Coast Guard, they do not review the design, construction, or performance of the life jackets.
The testing that we do is for those situations that no one plans for.
Testing labs like UL Solutions put personal flotation devices under scrutiny.
We test within the parameters of what size ranges the manufacturer is telling us that those are going to be designed for. So they cannot veer outside of what we approve.
Flotation devices in the U.S. fall into 5 different performance types, each based on the kind of activity and water conditions the user will be in.
All infant devices are turning devices, so they are designed to turn the wearer from a face-down position to a face-up position. So that is a Type 2 device.
Type 2 vests work best in calm water, like a pool or near a shore, where rescue should come quick. For children, sizing is based on weight, and parents have some wiggle room for growing kids. Infant, child, and youth vests have some overlap before you need to size up. UL Solutions says one of the most important factors is how the vest fits. Make sure it's snug and doesn't ride up when you get in the water.
When it comes down to it, the biggest factor is you got to choose what you're going to keep on.
With your Fast Facts, I'm Cheryl Mercedes.
So important to get the right life jacket. You want to make sure it fits your kids, right?
Yes, 1,000%. Definitely during this time of year. I've heard too many terrible stories about that. So.
And it's easy to just kind of snap on. As far as the forecast, you were saying, Camp Mabry, about 82 degrees. You think maybe what, just a few more degrees that will go higher today?
Yeah, I do believe so. And I think the cloud cover is going to have a lot to do with that, as well as the humidity in our atmosphere. As you take a look at the aforementioned Lake Travis, where it's going to be a pretty hot spot during the summer, not necessarily right now because we are still dealing with a few of those scattered showers and storms hanging around. But other than that, we're mainly in the upper 70s to lower 80s, so has to feel pretty nice despite all the cloud cover and winds mainly coming out of the east. And that's because we're on the northern end of what is now Tropical Depression Alberto. And there you see some of that shower activity mainly in South Austin, as well as some of our southern counties such as Fayette, such as Hayes, as well as maybe even Gillespie counties as well. Now, I do want to show you some notable totals from the LCRA gauges from yesterday's rain, looking over 2 inches just south of Giddings. And look at this in far northern sections of Fayette County getting close to 4 inches. But we got a little lighter for us here locally, mainly around 1.5 inches. We do have some isolated gauges that did record over 2 inches or so. But then watch this along the Pedernales River. This is where we needed most of the rain, and we've had over 1.5 inches in many spots in Gillespie County. Even a couple of 2 inches being recorded here just along Highway 16 there. And that's really going to be good news for that Pedernales River and in turn for Lake Travis. Now, as we go hour by hour, we could get to the lower 90s here locally. I do have a high of 89 because I think there's going to be slightly more cloud cover than this. But heat indices are going to be the story, and we could have heat indices getting to the upper 90s and maybe even the triple digits in some spots, with a few of those isolated storms again enveloping some of our southern counties. But then as we head through your Friday morning, we are going to start off mostly dry, maybe an isolated shower or two, but I do have only a 20% chance of that. Weeds, grass, and oak are now low. Mulberry still high, but a little bit lower than where we were yesterday. Mold also high, and you can find this allergy count each and every day on KVUE.com and the KVUE app. By and large, this is a 6 on the Jordy meter. Now, I do want to show you that there could be another tropical system about to make its way into the Bay of Campeche later on this weekend into early next week. It has a 50-50 shot of development over the next 7 days. This is the one we're watching, but there's another one in the southwestern Atlantic just off to the coast of Florida and the Georgia Bight that has a 40% chance of development. So either of those two storms could be named Beryl. Now, the rain could be limited because of this big dome of high pressure that's brought quite a bit of heat to portions of the Northeast. But as it moves through us, it's going to limit our rain chances for your Sunday and eventually your Monday. As you see it, I don't have any rain chances for Sunday, but I do have an isolated 10% chance for your Monday. And not only that, the temperatures are going to increase as well as we head through the latter part of the weekend. I have 97 Sunday and 95 on Monday with that isolated shower chance. Yvonne?
All right, thanks so much, Jordan. Well, after graduating from high school, did you know what you wanted to do for a career? We're going to introduce you to a 19-year-old who developed a unique style as a realtor.
It's severe weather season in Central Texas. That's why at KVUE, we put weather first.
Going to lead our newscast tonight with weather.
Keeping you and your family informed.
Stay on this with me just to make sure we don't get any sort of tornado.
You can count on us to put weather first.
An accident with a company car, truck, SUV, van, or fleet vehicle is not just another car accident. Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust.
It can bear over 4,000 times its own weight. And that's just the door hinge. Sturdy design down to the smallest detail, the Taos.
Visit your Volkswagen dealer today and get 0% APR financing or a $1,500 customer bonus on a new 2024 Taos.
We're starting a movement. Well, technically a don't movement.
Because we work hard and want to relax harder.
It's the La-Z-Boy 4th of July sale. Save up to 40% store-wide. La-Z-Boy, long live the lazy.
Stay straight for the next 200 miles.
Get into an Audi and go your own way. Find your way to exceptional offers during the Summer of Audi sales event at your local Audi dealer.
This is no time for unexpected surprises. Time to get clear. Gettel's plumbing experts are there to quickly identify stubborn clogs and get your drains flowing smoothly. Gettel, we do things the right way, not the easy way.
Everyone comfortable?
Yep.